I am 33 years old this year with a master's degree and considered a high-quality, older, single woman. I originally wasn't worried about finding a partner, but during blind dates, I realized that others focus on age and health, and being 33 is noticeable. At least by 35, having a child would mean being an older mother. Someone previously suggested introducing me to a young man born in '94. The other person felt the age difference was not suitable, so they rejected me. Last week, someone introduced me to a 40-year-old. After briefly discussing personal conditions, the other person stopped responding. I feel so useless. Today is Saturday, and I've just been lying in my rented room, staring blankly.
I don't even know what to do. I used to love going out and socializing, but now I don't want to move at all. In the past, during blind dates, I liked to talk about my house, car, and education, thinking I could attract a quality man with these. Now at 35, I finally understand. Forget about quality men, even ordinary men don't care about these things. Because deep down, men despise living off a woman. Compared to material things, they actually care more about your age and appearance. I graduated from a 985 university in 1988 with a master's degree. And I'm a 36-year-old single woman.
Why have I been single all this time? After some reflection and analysis, I realized that I'm a bit stingy, really. Whether you're a young girl, a little girl, or an older woman, take my advice. If you like a man, whether he's rich or poor, spend a little money on him first. Think about it. If it's so hard for a man to pursue a woman, and spending money works, then how much more effective would it be for a woman pursuing a man? Besides, men. It's quite rare for a man to encounter a woman who spends money on him first, and when it happens, he is easily moved. He will cherish you even more, treating you like a treasure. Moreover, any guy with decent values won't let you suffer a loss. He will likely return the favor doubly. So not only will you win him over, but you also won't lose out. Do you think what I'm saying makes sense?
When the marriage was about to end, everyone was advising the man, for the sake of the children. Please try to make it work, okay? Yet no one advised the woman, that if she doesn't change, the family will be gone.
In this arena of life, it's clear that the time has come, and guys can't keep up with the expenses anymore. Previously, capital marketing was like a boyfriend. Not buying gifts meant you didn't love her. Not having a candlelight dinner meant you didn't love her. Under the heavy pressure of various marketing strategies, the cost of dating has become higher and higher. Even the first cup of milk tea, the first hot pot meal, and even roasted sweet potatoes have been used for marketing. The details are becoming more and more competitive, and ordinary working class guys are starting to fear talking about love. Ironically, these marketing tactics have caused women to bear the brunt of criticism, while men simply give up and let things be.
I'm not talking about it anymore. Actually, there are many girls nowadays who, in the end, choose to live out their lives alone. Why do I say this? Because now these older single women have lowered their standards. What was her previous standard? For example, a domineering CEO who is 1.85 meters tall then falls in love with someone who is 35 years old and experiencing power and water outages. Many girls would say, oh, I'm excellent myself. So as a high-quality older single woman, I should find an outstanding man, right? But what is often the truth? The truth is that in the matchmaking market, there are certainly excellent women. No doubt about that, no problem. However, truly outstanding men are unlikely to go to the matchmaking market to choose Shortterm and even less likely to choose older single women. This is beyond doubt. And those older single women, they say, oh, I must marry for love. Without love, I'd rather have nothing than settle for less, holding on to this so-called idea of better to have nothing than settle for less when looking for a partner, and end up alone for the rest of their lives, right? Then when they reach 30, as they get older, their market value is actually shrinking. It's getting smaller and smaller. At this point, how do they feel? Their mindset collapses. And then they start to blame the world, saying that we don't respect these leftover women at all. Moreover, their emotions are actually in an unstable state, and they have a very irritable temper. For example, they might cry one moment, laugh the next, come to terms with something, and then suddenly feel down again, saying things like, oh, I'm waiting for the next one. When it comes to exams, people achieve perfect scores step by step. Haven't you ever taken an exam, right? Can you get a perfect score right from the start? That's quite unlikely, isn't it?
Many women have this illusion that they can enjoy themselves when they're young, and then find a well-off man to marry when they want to settle down. But what's the reality? Quality men are no longer following this pattern. More and more men are opting for short-term relationships. rather than long-term commitments. Why is it getting harder to find someone to settle down with? Because even those who are less sophisticated are using TikTok. They're not out of touch with social media. Who hasn't seen the female relationship gurus teaching women how to fish for men? If you haven't come across these videos, many men are slowly starting to understand, or rather, I haven't come across these videos myself. I've also seen similar cases, and I've heard similar gossip, right? So now, many guys are gradually realizing the truth. Instead of being a fool and supporting someone like a deity, they prefer to date for a few years and meet each other's needs. In the previous era, men had to support the family, and they supported wives who could share hardships. But under female-centric ideology, most girls think about using marriage to leap across social classes, which has become a kind of toxic advice. They treat being virtuous as if it's a horror story. Therefore, selfishness is regarded as survival wisdom. Before marriage, they demand a bride price and to have their name added to the property. After marriage, they act like hands-off managers while constantly controlling their husbands. So, within this mindset, entering marriage is merely to tie down a man's wealth and maximize personal benefits. In recent years, indeed, quite a few honest men have been tricked. For instance, a programmer brother who consulted me, earning $40,000 a month, was completely controlled by someone earning $5,000 a month, with all the household rules set by the woman. Every month he had to hand over his salary and he wasn't even given pocket money. After I helped him, he gradually regained control and now his wife is relatively obedient to him. In the current marriage and dating market, if you observe carefully, you'll find that many high-value men are easily manipulated by low-value women through means like value suppression, emotional deception, and the guise of love. So if you consider yourself or actually are a high-value man, you need to learn to objectively recognize the existence of women. Build a correct understanding and strategy based on trust and instinct. Start learning about the methods and strategies women use to discipline men, so you won't be manipulated by women and remain in a low position, unable to turn things around. Before entering marriage, study a woman's past and present to assess if she truly holds value for you. You must adopt this transactional mindset, which will inevitably lead to women who lack ability and value and who unrealistically rely on men to jump up and start criticizing you for lacking responsibility and not being dependable. They will start to condemn you for using a transactional mindset to nullify emotions in marriage. But actually, I just want to say, it's all just the result of earlier malice leading to the current bad outcomes. So don't let their so-called morality constrain you. Boldly select women who match your value.
What are women who have been brainwashed by feminism really thinking? You always say that you can't marry down, and even more so, you can't bear children for men for nothing. So I want to ask you, does the child call you mom? In the future, will it be the child who takes care of you in your old age, or those so-called feminist influencers spreading motivational quotes online? No, it's already 2025, and I just don't understand why there are still women saying that the child is born for the man. What, did he hire you to have a child, and after that you two have nothing to do with each other? Why does it seem like a transaction? Women who say that the child is born for the man, you're treating yourself like a birthing machine. And there are some women who, on one hand, keep talking about gender equality. And on the other hand, when a man doesn't meet your unreasonable demands, you throw at him, I can have children, can you? Internally, it's like you wish you could write on your face, I can have children. So men, you all have to give in to me. You say you're clearly a wife and a mother, yet you let yourself be brainwashed by some ill-intentioned people, using the child as a bargaining chip, turning the household into a mess. And then at night, you say, that men marry you just to find a free maid, okay? If you compare yourself to a maid, what do you expect others to say? With your inability to distinguish right from wrong, you shouldn't be advocating for gender equality. So what is true gender equality? My understanding of gender equality is genuine equality, both mentally and physically. It's the warriors who, during wartime, soaked in water to build bridges for soldiers. It's Principal Zhang Guimei, who, during development periods, resolutely rooted herself in impoverished areas just to lead children out of the mountains. It's also every woman who, during peacetime, faces natural and man-made disasters and stands at the forefront of disaster relief. That is true gender equality. Not hiding behind and only wanting privileges when it suits you. You talk about gender equality, but when it comes to fulfilling obligations, you claim women are weaker than men and take advantage of men. When you're at the forefront and asked to make sacrifices for men, you sarcastically say you're being treated like a nanny. You constantly enjoy the privileges brought by gender differences.
Yet you turn around and say that there's not a single good man. Do you think it's right to say that? When men look for a wife, they should definitely not choose older women. If women are looking, they should choose those born in the 2000s. There are many girls from the 2000s, while some women in their 30s are already considered old. But without the maturity of someone in their 30s, they still think of themselves as little babies or fairy princesses who need to be pampered and indulged. On one hand, they earn a few thousand yuan in salary and are paying off credit cards, while on the other hand, they proclaim themselves as independent women of the new era, demanding that men have cars, houses, and also pay a bride price. Why should I give the same bride price to women born in the 2000s? At least the girls from the 2000s are young and can provide emotional value, while those older women think of themselves as antiques.
The older they get, the more valuable they think they are. But in reality, it's the opposite. The older they get, the less valuable they are. Should I choose a black boyfriend or a domestic boyfriend? I prefer a black boyfriend. Why? Because I feel that being with a black person makes me look whiter, when I stand next to him.
What's going on? If a black person pursues you, would you agree? Think about it. Are you being honest? Yes, I'm being honest. I don't mind black people. I actually think some black people are quite handsome. In Africa, I believe anything is possible. What's different between black people and us Asians? Their teeth are a bit whiter.
Why don't men like to spend money on women now? The 87 stake tells us that dating doesn't require spending money. African gorillas tell us that marriage doesn't require a dowry. If she likes you, she won't waste your money and might even contribute. Women who spend your money are scammers. And those who demand a dowry for marriage are also scammers. It's all a fraud. So men should always protect their potential. There's no such thing as a free lunch. When something happens, think about who you are and what you have. And ask yourself about your own character. Who doesn't like someone young and beautiful? When you're confused, just feel your wallet once it's and you'll understand. Money should definitely be saved for your family, your children, and your wife. What's the use of spending it on others? Do I want a dowry of 500,000? What I want is an attitude.
Look, I loan 500,000 as dowry, and then we can slowly pay it back after we get married. Hemp, it's not like you don't have it. So why do you need to take a loan for this 500,000? Aren't you asking for an attitude? I've gone as far as taking a loan. Isn't that proof of my attitude? Aren't you just being argumentative? Suggesting a loan? How could you even think of that? I've been with you for 5 years, and a girl's 5 years of youth is worth more than just a 500,000 dowry, isn't it? Look, my attitude is very serious. I'm willing to give this dowry to your parents, and I'm okay with it. At worst, we can pay it back together. Isn't my attitude good enough? But wouldn't we be in debt right after getting married? How are we supposed to live like that? So how about this money? I take out a loan, and then, during the wedding, we show it off. And after the wedding, I pay it back. How does that sound? But that's not right. Wouldn't you be marrying me for nothing? What should we do? You want an attitude. I have an attitude. What else is missing? It's nothing.
Older single women often start as younger women, who are undervalued. I'm serious, I really shouldn't be saying this. I already have few female fans, and to win the favor of the girls, I should be saying more pleasant things. But yesterday, I was really upset by a girl. A few days ago, a neighbor of mine said they wanted to introduce a girl to me for a blind date. So I asked how old she was, right? They said she was born in 1999. And I thought, okay, that's a decent age, just 26, right? Then I asked about her height, and it was also quite good, 1.60 meters, not particularly short. So I asked how she looked. Then the introducer, my neighbor, said, you can add her on social media yourself. She's quite good looking, pretty. I thought, wow, really? Heaven is being kind to me, right? Such a good thing could happen to me. Then they kept emphasizing that this girl doesn't have high standards. Ha ha ha, not high standards. I thought, isn't this... it made me feel like I was on cloud 9. So I happily added this girl on WeChat, and we chatted a bit. She was born in 1998, is 1.6 meters tall, has a bachelor's degree, and works in a county-level city under Qingdao as some kind of office clerk in a private company. However, her annual income is 100,000 yuan. It seemed a bit unreasonable to me. What kind of office assistant can earn 100,000 yuan a year? In the previous video, I mentioned that I had a membership and only earned 3,000 yuan a month. The gap is quite large. Is it really that easy for girls to earn a salary? I don't know. And then, well, he has a younger brother. But it's said that he's not a burden to the family. Their house might be demolished for redevelopment, but he doesn't know when that will happen because it's been delayed. Overall, when I look at it, in terms of income, education, and age, etc., everything seems pretty good. So at this point, my little brain starts wondering, why is someone with such good conditions still single? What kind of requirements do they have? He said, I want to find someone who is better than me in every aspect. Well, they don't have to be exceptionally good. Just someone within 3 years of my age, with an annual income of $300,000 and over 1.8 meters tall. Let's not talk about anything else. Let's not discuss whether such a person exists or if we can find one. I just want to say, what a good person. A guy born in 2001, over 1.8 meters tall, earning $300,000 a year, still needs to go on blind dates, right? If you know such a guy, I'll pay you to introduce him to me, okay? Wei Feng in. I also want to ask what you think. You find it easy to earn $100,000 in 10 years, so you think others can do it in 1 year. Do you mean that earning $300,000 is also easy? Honestly, in reality, I really don't dare to say anything to him. But it might also be my perspective, that my mindset hasn't expanded. For those born after 2000, making money is particularly easy, jobs are easy to find, and entrepreneurship is very successful. You might have many people in their early 20s or even just turned adults who can earn $1 million a year. Well, I don't know them either, right? We're quite low end. As far as I know, if people have just graduated with a degree, like graduating from college at 23, and by the time they're 26, in 3 years, they can immediately have an annual salary of $1 million or even an annual salary of $300,000. Let me put it this way. I don't know a single man born after 2000 with an annual income over $300,000. The only ones I know are a few who graduated from high school. Girl, maybe wait another 2 years before looking again. By then, you might find someone within a 3-year age difference with an annual income over $300,000 and also tall. That's beyond my capability. Goodbye.